I know it's literally been a minute. I have done a video, but I thought, let me do a get ready with me chit chat whilst I just talk to you a little bit about life lessons, tests, whatever you want to call it. So let's get ready. So I've literally just put on the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Absolutely love this. I do want to try the Denesamyrix, so I think once this is done, I might give that a go. I'm also going to quickly do my brows and then I'll come back because it's just easier. But I'll show you what I'm going to use. So I just used the Revolution Laminate Brow Fixer. It's like a spoolie. And then I tidy it up with a Revolution. This is actually an eyeliner, but it's brown, dark brown. But I like to use it as just something. It's got a really thin tip, so I just like to use it to fill in. And then I'm just going to conceal as per with my Huda Beauty Faux Filter. I'm using the shade Butterscotch. So I'll be back once I've done my brows. Okay, so my brows are done. So basically, I want to talk about life lessons. I want to talk about tests that we encounter in our life and also what we do with those tests, because it's all well and good going through a testing period, a trialing period, a process, but the real kind of essence, I guess, is what do you do with all of that? What happens with all of that? Where do you take all of that? In terms of foundation, I've got Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've got two shades, so I'm going to mix them and then I'm going to just apply that as my foundation, as my base. Okay, so I was just like, how did this come about? I was just thinking about some of the things that I've experienced in the past few years, right? And I was just like, okay, B, let's just do like a stock check. Let's kind of see where we're at. Let's see. Let's just see. Had to pin my hair back because I was getting in the way. But I likened it to school because I was like, when we go to school, uni, any form of education, basically, we undertake lessons, right? And at the end of the lesson, there's always some kind of, whether it's an exam, whether it's a dissertation, whether it's a project, but there's always something that we undertake to kind of show what we've learned, show and apply the information that we've been receiving over the past, year or months or however long it may be. And then you get your result, right? And your result essentially will show you, okay, cool, you got full marks, you got 100%, you know your stuff, you've absorbed the information and you can apply it in whatever situation you may face. And there's times where, okay, cool, you may need to resit. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just showing you that, okay, there's still areas that you may need to actually hone in on, focus on, develop, right? And there's been situations both in life, like personally and also education, I've had to resit, so it's not even like, oh my God, it's okay. I've had to resit before and the outcome has been better. I've gone back, I've learned again. And recently, I found myself in a place where I was like, oh, all of the lessons I've been learning over the past couple of years, this present time in my life is an opportunity for me to actually potentially put those things into practice. And I feel like sometimes we go through life, we experience things, and sometimes we're not taking on board the lessons that we've learned. I'm actually really grateful that the Holy Spirit prompted me to actually take a step back and just think. And that's when I was able to be like, oh, actually, everything that I've learned over the past few years, there's a situation now where I can either look back in hindsight, see the lessons and apply it, or ignore it. And that's the thing. God's given us free will, so it's up to us whether we want to heed the lesson and apply it, or if we want to ignore it. That is essentially all down to us. But I pray that with wisdom, you would heed to the lessons because it's just the best outcome. I'm blushing. Obviously it's all going to be blended in. What am I using? I'm using curve case made by Mitchell, and that is cherry cola, which is actually my favorite blush color in this palette, in this specific palette. I'm also going to be using some of these to contour as well, so when you see me contouring, this is what I'm using. Sometimes we can think to ourselves, oh, okay, this is a lesson. I don't know if I'm going to apply the lesson I've learned. Maybe I've changed. Maybe things are not going to be how they were before. Like, we can always think of these different kind of excuses for ourselves, and not necessarily want to take the lesson on board. To be totally honest with you, that really, in essence, was what I wanted to say. I wanted to basically get across that don't let the tests and the lessons that you've been through be in vain. Like, use wisdom to be able to apply it to the current situations that you may find yourself in. Don't ever see it as a waste of time. There's always something to learn. Trust me. Like, every single day is an opportunity to learn, is an opportunity to grow, is an opportunity to develop. It's just about whether you yourself are taking heed to it. And that's not to say, like, because you're going through tests, you're going through trials, that you can't live, that you can't enjoy, that you can't simultaneously experience or have good moments, fun times. No, that's not the case. One thing I've really kind of come to learn about life, and I think I've said this before in like my other videos previously, like the ones I've done ages ago. I know I've not recorded in ages, but you can definitely experience things simultaneously. You can be in a growing period, in a testing period, in a trial, but still experience moments of joy, still experience pockets of hope, still experience opportunities and just things. That is just life. Like, I think before, maybe when I was younger, I felt life was very polarized. Like, you can either be happy or sad. Like, it was very polar opposite. But I'm coming to learn about the different nuances of life, you know. But I guess in essence, that really was what I wanted to say. Like, it definitely wasn't going to be something super long. Sorry, let me just have a look at this properly. I want like a full glam, hence why I'm doing a lot of concealer today. So yeah, and I really love this concealer because it's very full coverage as well. I'm gonna let that dry down for a little bit. I'm also back to using Beauty Blender. It's not here. Yeah, I'm also back to using Beauty Blender because, I don't know, I'm just liking the coverage it gives me at the moment. It's going to take ages, so I'll be back. I think another thing, like when it comes to life and life lessons and tests and all those different kind of things, one major thing I would say is you need to know yourself. And I know a lot of the time people may be like, how do I know myself? Because that was a question I used to ask as well. Like, what do you mean you need to know yourself? When like I was told you need to know yourself more, all of this, I just used to think, what does that even mean? But one thing I have learnt is that you truly get to know who you are, and a lot more of yourself becomes revealed when you lean into God. And I know it may sound like, okay, B, but trust me, because our identity really truly, first and foremost, stems from the Lord. And one thing I've found, like over the past couple of years, is the more I've lent into my word, the more I've just devoted more time in just studying certain passages. And it's not even just about, okay, I want to read the Bible to just say that I've read the Bible, but literally there's certain chapters and there's certain verses that is literally all I'll be reading, because I just want to delve into it a lot more. And one prayer that I always say when I'm reading my word is, Lord, open the eyes of my understanding, so that when I'm reading the word, you're revealing new truths to me. I'll put some of the Psalms and other verses that I say, hopefully, on the screen. So you can say it as well whilst you're reading your Bible, whilst you're having your devotional time. But I truly feel it's so important that when you are reading your word, you're asking God to speak to you, to reveal himself to you. And the more that you delve into your word, the more truth will become apparent to you, the more you start to just see yourself and understand yourself a lot more. And when you know who you are, trust me, there is no shaking. And it just allows you to kind of live fully and live unapologetically, not in a way that's saying I'm not going to listen to anyone or I'm going to do my own thing, not in that way. Because a lot of people say, like when people say stuff like live your truth, etc., etc., a lot of people think that that's bad. But if your truth is rooted in the truth, which is Christ, how can it be? It's just making sure that the foundation upon which you're standing on is Christ, the firm foundation. And then you can really live fully. You can really live upon it unapologetically. You can really live unreservedly. And you can really enjoy the life, because God truly does want us to enjoy the goodness of this land whilst we are here living in it. So makeup wise, I'm going to add another brighter concealer shade, same Huda. This is in Crumble, but I'm just doing like a little bit because this is quite potent. It's quite strong and it's quite bright. I'm gonna let that sit a bit more, and then I'm going to just do other things. I'm actually doing this makeup routine all over the place. That's because I actually have somewhere to be. And I do have time, but you know how time just creeps up on you quickly. So I'm going to, whilst this is still, I want it to dry down a bit more, I'm going to at least do the upper part of my eyes. So my eyeliner, try and fix my lashes on. And yeah. So in terms of lashes, the glue, I use a glue from Tatty Lashes that I just got from ASOS. It comes with glue, it's 2-in-1. So this is the glue side and this is the sealant side if I wanted to keep the lashes on for ages, which I don't. I want to take them off after this evening. So I use the glue. It goes down white, but it dries clear, so don't worry about that. And then the actual lashes, I just do one eye at a time. The actual lashes I got from TikTok shop. Actually, I did get these lashes from TikTok shop, but I don't want to use these today. I'm going to use the ones I ordered from Amazon. Okay, I've done one eye. I'm going to blend. I've got this really cute little tiny beauty blender. I'm going to dampen it a little bit and blend out this lighter concealer. I just use my Charlotte Tilbury to slightly damp it, but yeah, I'm going to blend this out now. Okay, time for powders. I'm going to set this one first. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This is in shade 250 Beige. And I don't know if you can see it, but that's to show you the difference. I'm going to take Huda Beauty Easy Bake in Cinnamon Bun, and I'm going to put that all over the rest of my face. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Then I've got this Revolution blush palette. I'm going to add some blush to the sides. So while all the powders are on, I'm going to also bake my under eye with the Huda Beauty in the loose baking and setting powder in Kunafa. I got the mini travel one. It's lasted me ages because I literally just use it under my eye and it's not an everyday thing. So yeah, I'm going to put this on my under eye and then I'm going to do this eye in terms of lashes. Okay, so lashes are done. I'm going to use this MAC Mineralize to just kind of brush off all of the baking, all of the powder. I'm even speeding up because my phone's trying to do no storage and I'm not doing all of this recording for that to be happening. So yeah, I'm going to take off all the powder and then I'm going to do my eyeliner, I'm going to do my lips, I'm going to spray, do my hair, and then I'll come back. Okay, so this is our finished look. Oh, goodness me, I feel so flustered. But we made it, we made it. Ultimately, everyone, please, 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 I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know the process can be jarring. I know it can just be a lot. But there is a means to an end. We read in Ecclesiastics, the end of a thing is better than its beginning. It will be for a reason. I know all of that can seem a little bit eye roll in the moment, but when you find yourself in a place where you can see where you can put one of those lessons into practice, and you do, there's definitely a sense of, okay, girl, okay, guy. That's it. Hopefully, it won't be too long before you see me again on here. But as usual, like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. Support your sis. All right, take care. God loves you.